Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Making of Smile & Co. I'm your co-host, Ashley Joves.
And I'm Collin Al-Samarrie.
Hi,
We're
Call.
back.
We are back.
Hi.
Hi.
We're going to do another short and sweet, quickie episode on Smile and Company. I've been loving these episodes.
It
It is
gets
a
us
lot of
straight to the
fun.
point. Yeah.
It really is. There's not a lot of fluff involved, I don't think, which is weird for the two of us because we have always so much fluff
So
usually.
much fluff. Yes.
But no, we've been getting down to it, and I think they've been helpful. I've gotten good feedback on all of our episodes. So last time we talked about the equipment that you chose for the ops, the chairs, the layout, which rooms, how many you plumbed, blah, blah, blah. This time we're going to talk about some of the technology that you've brought into the office because you love everything tech. And I think if you're not doing tech these days, you're like practicing in the dinosaur times. So what, let's just start with what practice management software did you choose for this office and why?
We chose Open Dental, and the answer is pretty simple. We started off with Open Dental in the Folsom office. And with their clinics view, it allows us to see both the Roseville and the Folsom location in one consolidated setting.
Now we have it based off of a server. Is that correct?
Yes.
But Open Dental does have a cloud version, right? Do they?
I believe so. I am not familiar with it though, so don't ask me any questions. When we first started the Roseville location, I actually looked into a cloud-based software,
Mhm.
and the learning curve was extremely steep, and we didn't convert Folsom into the same cloud software. So we're like, let's just go back to what was tried and true. And we actually went back to Open Demo.
Would you consider a cloud-based software or like even the Open Dental version? I don't know really what like the pros and cons are.
I think the pros are you can save a lot of money with the server because
Uh,
those servers, they're several $1,000s. And I feel like they need to get updated every 5 to 10 years. I have no idea. I think we spend way too much on computers in general. But the ability to always have a cloud backup is really nice, and being able to access, which actually may be a double-edged sword because sometimes you want to be able to disconnect from your practice when you're not actually in the practice. But
hmm
for those of us who are still building, like the flexibility of being able to see the schedule, working from home, connecting with emergencies after hours. I don't know what your system is like for that. I do see the advantages, especially in the age of AI, where there are so many different softwares and programs. It's only going to get bigger from here. I have a feeling that we will probably move to a cloud server at some point. Who knows? I'm just trying to like time it with everything. It's like waiting for the newest iPhone. As soon as you get it, they freaking release another model. I swear. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is.
Speaking of the server room and computers and tech, in the past, I know that you've had a company that was not local. Now you use a local company. Do you have a preference on either or like what's your pros and cons for that?
Oh my gosh, I love local.
hmm
I love local, especially with how much technology is actually being utilized on a day-to-day basis. It's nice to have the ability to call our IT company and them sending someone
hmm
over. Like, it's funny because when we used a remote company, they actually sent out my current tech
Oh,
company. And that's the only reason how I got connected. I'm like, wait, so why don't I just hire you guys? And yeah, it's just nice to have that ability. Yeah.
yeah, I agree. For as much as you can Google things and try to get help over the phone, some of those tech things are just so complicated. And
So
it's so nice when you're like, can you just come,
just
come
come,
do
just
it?
do it for me. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
you're gonna pay for that service, but nothing will replace having that ability to do that. And when the phones go down or the server goes, I don't know, kaput, or we can't do something, I don't know. There's like so many things that I know I'm not a tech bro. Like I need somebody and I need someone like stat. So just send someone over.
What imaging software did you choose for Roseville?
We have Collin, what imaging software do we have?
Well, we use Sedexis.
We use Sedexis and we have Jazz
Yeah.
sensors because I
Mhm.
didn't want to buy the sensors because sensors are so expensive. So
They're
we're like
so expensive.
renting them. We're renting them. It's like $2.99 a month per
Mhm.
sensor. Is that what we're paying?
Yes.
I don't know.
And I
And
think there was like a startup fee maybe in the very beginning. The cool thing about Jazz is that if there's something wrong with the sensor, they will send out a replacement
yeah,
as long as you didn't beat it up like on
yeah.
purpose. Do
We
you?
so in our Folsom office, we have the Schick sensors, which
Mhm.
are very expensive. One of them is not working at all. And sensors are one of those things that if you drop it, they're tiny. It's most likely broken.
Mhm.
And if you're relying on like volume and assistance, like shit happens. Sorry to curse, but shit happens. Like you
Yeah.
invest tens of thousands of dollars in this teeny tiny piece of equipment. I've heard horror stories where assistants will accidentally put it in the autoclave. I don't know how that happens, but there are literally posts in the Facebook group like, how did this happen? I think the assistant just didn't like the owner dentist and probably put in their notice after that.
Or the doctor put in that
Oh, yeah.
assistance notice after that.
True.
That's crazy. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah.
Side note, the craziest thing I've ever seen an assistant put in the autoclave was the torch, like the lab
Stop.
torch with the butane in it.
I
And
don't
we oh
stop it.
yeah, all the things.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Just like I know we said there's no fluff, but this is a very real behind the scenes story. So in the beginning of Folsom, we worked 4 days. It was open Monday, Tuesday. We were off on Wednesday, and then we were open Thursday, Friday. It was nice to have that middle of the week catch up. And this was at the time when it was just Judy and myself doing any catch up. I was recording content, and Jude's was like posting insurance checks. Anyways, we're working in the office, super quiet. And all of a sudden, we start to smell something. I'm like, what is that? So, guys, you know that the heater where you wait for the plastic to melt and then you
The
do the
suck
back,
down machine.
yeah, the suck down to make like bleaching trays, retainers, what have you. Well, tell me why one of our assistants put a plastic clipboard with paper on it on top of the heating component of that machine that was set to on. And literally 6 inches from that was our, was it oxygen tank or nitrous tank? There was like a tank,
Yeah, the emergency oxygen.
emergency oxygen tank. And right next to it were the surge protectors for all the electronics and the plugins to lots of our devices. So
Mhm.
we could have blown up, like literally killed at the dental office. And we still think about that.
Uh-huh.
And what caught fire was actually first the clipboard started to melt, and then the fire, the paper
Oh my
on
God.
top of the clipboard started to spark. And I swear we have a guardian angel because there was nothing that would have put out that fire, but it stopped. You can see the outline of where this fire started, and then it just put itself out. So thank you,
So
guardian
crazy.
angel. It's so crazy. I still get chills. I'm like, where this, it's like final destination stuff. This is
Mhm.
wild. Sorry.
It's so funny, like the checklists and stuff that we have for the office.
Yeah.
And like some of it seems so like trivial. And I'm always like, double check it right as you're walking out.
Yeah.
And you just don't think about it unless you like tell those stories. I'm like, girls,
Yeah.
this is why we check this every time. Like just little things. I don't know. I'm
If
like a
walls
paranoid
could talk,
person though.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you want a paranoid person creating your checklist. Quite honestly, you need someone like Collin to make sure that every single thing that could possibly happen is accounted for on that checklist.
It's like anyways. Okay. Back to Smile and Company. We talked about the sensors.
Yeah.
You're pretty happy with those sensors in Roseville, the Jazz ones?
Are they super clear? I think there was a setting that the assistants have been trying to clarify. It's still
Okay.
kind of fuzzy, but we also have Overjet. And I feel like between
Mhm.
Overjet and like, yeah, I think it's fine. Is it going to win
Okay.
awards? I don't think so, but it's fine.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you kind of about other AI. So Overjet, you just touched on. You've been using that for like what, 6 months now, maybe?
I think
Do you
so.
love it?
Yeah. I love it. I think that with AI technology and the ability to just have a backup set of eyes, I think,
Yeah.
but more importantly, we use it for the patients, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we all know how to read a radiograph, but when the patient looks at it, they see shades of gray. And that's basically it. And when we're trying to tell them, like, no, you have a cavity or you have bone loss, it's one thing if we're pointing to it, but it's another if you have something like Overjet that illuminates the area, marks it in another color. So,
Mm-hmm.
so it really identifies those potential problem areas to the patient.
Yeah. I love that you said you use it for patient education because one of my favorite things is when patients are like, how can you read that? It all looks the same to me. Those look like toes. And I'm like,
Always.
the dentist
Why?
literally went to years of school for this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty funny. I don't understand why teeth look like toes to so many patients.
I don't see it.
I don't either. I'm like, toes? Okay.
Did you invest in a CBCT for this location?
The new location, not yet.
Yeah.
We have a
No.
space for it. You know, if I did endo or implants, I
Hmm.
really should. We unfortunately refer a lot out. Like we are not keeping, I swear, some of the most profitable stuff in our
Hmm.
practices, which if you are a dentist and looking for a place in California to practice and you are a badass GP and you love implants, can you just message me? Thanks. That's my plug.
We have a really great office that you can come work at.
Yes, two offices. So we basically send patients who need a CBCT to our Folsom location, which is like 20 minutes away. So it hasn't been that big of a problem yet. We're still
Hmm.
growing the Roseville office. And like I said, if I did more surgical cases, we would have invested in the tech a long time ago. But it's
When
just,
you built Folsom, how early on did you get that CBCT?
oh, I think it was probably the first 6 months. It was pretty early
Okay.
on. Yeah. It's pretty early on. But I was also super gung ho about placing implants. And I did like my fellowship and all of that. And then now I'm like, I just want pretty things. So I just stopped doing that.
Let's talk about scanners next. We know you have CEREC because we've mentioned it in the other episodes. So we'll touch on CEREC because I want to go more into your in-house milling and whatnot. But tell me about the scanners that you have in Folsom and in Roseville that you scan for like recare patients, new patients, all those things.
Yeah, we keep it pretty simple. We have a couple iTero scanners in the Folsom office, and we also have a Dandy scanner in the Folsom office. That is, we don't have in office milling because we have only one machine, and that currently is in the Roseville office. So in the Roseville office, I have an iTero scanner as well as the Prime Scan and Prime Mill.
Are you pretty happy with the iTero and the Dandy scanner as far as like sending out crowns?
I'm barely in the Folsom office these days. I think for the most part, it's been okay. I don't think that it's been 100%, if I'm being
Hmm.
completely honest. I know that the margins aren't as clear on the iTero scanner as it is when I look at the prime scan. It's like
Mhm.
night and day. So I don't think restorative is where iTero really shines, but I don't have the Lumina. I have just the older models of the iTero.
Mhm.
So if you do have the iTero Lumina and you like love it for restorative, please just let us know. Or whatever scanner that you are loving
Mhm.
for your practices, let us know. I'm always curious because there's Medit, there's
Yeah.
Shine, there's the Trios that I've heard
Mhm.
amazing things about.
Hey friends, I just want to give some love to Net32 for supporting this episode. If you're a practice owner like me, you know the back end of running a dental office isn't always sexy, but it is necessary. Net32 is an online marketplace where you can compare brands, vendors, and prices all in one place. That means you're not overpaying or wasting time. And when you're building a startup or juggling multiple practices, every dollar and every minute matters. I've used Net32 and it's honestly made a huge difference. Check them out at net32.com/the making of. And now let's get back to the show.
Let's see. 3D printing next. I know you have a 3D printer in Folsom. In the last episode, you mentioned wanting to get one in Roseville too. But can you tell us what 3D printer you have and what you use it for?
Yeah, we have the Sprint Ray 95, I believe, in
Mm-hmm.
the Folsom office. It's a few years old. How old is that
Mm-hmm.
call? Like five,
Ooh,
six?
I probably, yeah, somewhere in there. I
It's
want to say around COVID time.
it is definitely, I mean, we've had some issues with it. So I'm I don't know anything about 3D printing. I'm a very good delegator. So our team, they know how to do all that stuff. But if you were to ask me the logistics, I honestly couldn't tell you. I do want to push where we're at with the digital side to the next
Yeah.
level. I know that 3D printing, veneers, crowns, onlays is all the rage, or at least it's becoming more of a popular thing with the
Mm-hmm.
Sprint Ray Midas. And it was introduced. I was at IDS, that the world's largest international dental symposium. I was in Cologne, Germany last March, and they basically introduced the Midas,
Mm-hmm.
and it was amazing. Like, I don't know. I don't do it myself yet, but I do follow quite a few like high tech accounts where they are doing veneers, no prep veneers. Their temporaries are all being milled. So that is where I definitely want to grow
Mm-hmm.
our cosmetic side next.
Yeah, right now, the only thing that Folsom uses a 3D printer for is models.
Mhm.
And night guards or deprogrammers are really the only items being 3D printed. From what I remember early on, because you got like, I think the 95 was one of the very first Sprint Ray
Yeah,
models, right? And they had like a 95 and a 55. Does that sound
that
right?
sounds familiar. 55 was the smaller version, I believe.
Yeah. And I remember the spiel for that was like the 95 was better for printing larger things, like even I think aligners and things, whereas the 55 was meant for some of those smaller, more
Mhm.
detailed crowns and whatnot. I know with the one we have now too, there's like updates that we can't really get for it because it's not the newest version or model, but they came out with a newer one very shortly after you
Always.
bought the OG
So
one.
annoying.
When you first started with that 3D printer, they didn't even have the wash yet. Do you
Yeah.
remember?
So
And we
we
were
were just
using like a shaker and a
was it a margarita shaker? No. I
I
saw that
wish.
in a course.
Did you?
They use
No.
a margarita shaker.
We were using like the vibrator for like alginate. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like the
Oh,
stone
yes, the vibrator, yes. Is that
and
what
like
that's
a
called?
probably not. No, I think it is actually. I don't, that's what I call it.
They need a name.
Um, but it was like Tupperware with the alcohol
Uh-huh.
solution in it, and you would soak it, and it was a mess. But then they came out with the Pro Wash, and you have that and the curing machine as well. But I've seen what you're talking about. All those dentists out there 3D printing things is really cool.
Yeah. It's pretty insane what people are accomplishing with dentistry right now.
So that maybe that's your next investment, which is actually one of my questions for later on. But walk us through now the CEREC process that you're doing in Roseville. Can you kind of tell me just start to finish what an appointment like that looks for?
Yeah, so patients come in and they, depending on the tooth or the quadrant that I'm working on, if it is a lower tooth, I'll get the patient numb, and then one of our assistants will do a pre-scan, scan the entire mouth and the bite, while we're waiting for that patient to feel the numbness effects. So they get pre-scanned, and we're still very anal about this, and we still take a pre-op impression. We haven't, knock on wood, needed to use it, but just in
Yeah.
case the technology craps out, you just never know. To prep, I have an extended functions assistant, which I absolutely love. And I will numb, prep. She comes in, she'll pack cord, do the buildup, scan, and then bring the machine to the lab area. And she'll mark my margins, but I'll actually design the contacts and like the overall shape of the tooth. And then we go to races. We have it milled and then fired in the oven. And I I know that there are practices that can get it down in 90 minutes. I think I spend 30 minutes talking and getting patients numb. I'm pretty sure I know that I could do things a lot more efficiently, but one of the big things that we do is we focus on connection and
Yeah.
getting patients to really see themselves like as our extended friends and family. So I don't think we will ever get to a place where we're just focused so on like how quickly can we get things done.
Mhm.
Yeah, obviously there's a fine line. You have to be efficient to be profitable, but you also have to have amazing connections to build rapport so patients trust you with their treatment. So
Yeah.
there has to be a good blend. And I think we could be more efficient for sure. I need to be focused on my timing and talking, mostly talking.
So how long is that appointment typically? What do
Yeah,
you have
well,
your front schedule?
about 2 hours. Yeah.
Okay. That's not too bad, I don't think. That accounts for your 30 minutes of talking and chit chat. What kind of blocks are you using with your CEREC?
We use mostly zirconia these days.
Mhm.
So my favorite one is the
Katana?
Yes, katana. The katana. I
I think
love the
it's like
katana.
Katana 1 or something, right?
Yes. It's strong. She's beautiful. You can adjust where it mills to
Mhm.
adjust for translucency. And they just are beautifully polished. I would say 90% of what I'm milling these days are zirconia. We have an Emax oven that is currently not plugged in. We moved it from the Folsom office and it's literally sitting in a cupboard somewhere collecting dust.
Mhm.
But our prime, what is it called? The furnace?
Speedfire?
Speedfire
Yeah.
also does Emax. It's just a bit longer in the oven. So instead of
It takes up
being like 45 minutes, right? Instead of being like 18 for a single
something
crown.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Speedfire takes up way less room on the counter though
And it's
than
so
the,
sexy.
yeah. It looks really cute.
It
I don't know if
looks
the
like an
upgraded,
espresso machine.
it does. Yeah. What setting are you milling on? Because I know there's like crazy fast, fast, and then like normal, right?
I do crazy fast.
Okay.
And the reason why I do crazy fast is when I went to Scottsdale and did all the spear continuum for CEREC.
Mm-hmm.
All of the instructors recommended the super fast mode. And then by the time you polish it, you can't really tell. So it's really fast. It's like 4 minutes.
That's crazy fast.
Yeah.
And then you can do, because you'll do multiple sometimes. So you'll mill multiple, throw them like both in the oven, right?
Mhm.
And do it. That just kind of quickens everything instead of trying to do one at a time.
Yes. It's so fast. So I think my fastest was we did 2 zirconia premolars, 1 zirconia molar. It all fit on the platform. So at the super fast speed, it was like 4 minutes each. And then we waited for all 3 to be done. And then we baked it together. And that was an additional 18 minutes. So super fast.
Super fast. You just mentioned going to Scottsdale for Spear and learning that. Was that pretty easy to learn the CEREC just the first time you got it?
No.
Okay.
No, but I didn't come from any background. Well, I did come from an office where the assistants did everything. Like I didn't have to touch anything. They designed it, stained glaze, all of that stuff. So when I went, I felt like I was a duck out of water. We had just purchased this machine. I don't think I even turned it on. And I was already in Scottsdale learning how it functions. So thank goodness my lab partner, she had been working with CEREC for a couple years. The instructors moved very fast, and I would always like ask for help on the side. But now it's good.
Pretty easy once you've got the hang of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you recommend like a startup doc starting with one of those out the gate?
No, I
Okay.
do not. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's a nice to have. I don't think it's a need to have, especially with the learning curve, how much time in the chair your patients will be. But again, like if you're opening an in-network office and you're more volume, and you just want to get patients in and out, then I don't think CEREC is the right choice for you. If you are more like high touch, you like that control and ability for patients to have, same day treatment, I think it is a nice touch. And if you are already thinking you're going to be investing in a digital practice, then don't start off with it right away. Maybe like, let's see what your workflow looks like. Let's see what your overhead is. Let's see where we can start once you get to a certain level of production consistently, maybe then introduce that technology.
Yeah. Would you go back to getting a CEREC in Folsom?
No,
No. Okay.
no, I would not, because right now Folsom is it's a 6-op practice, and we are a network with a lot of insurances. And to take 2 hours, 2.5 hours of a patient sitting in one op, that really does cut down the ability for other patients to be seen. Because if you have 2 hygienists or 3 hygienists, there's like half your chairs right there. You're always supposed to save 1 chair for same day treatment, emergencies, new patients. So keeping a CEREC in that office just doesn't make sense for us in the moment.
I'm kind of switching gears now to something I know you love for your offices. Let's just talk music real quick before we end this episode. I know you play music. What kind of music do you like to play in your offices?
It's usually 90s and 2000s hip hop and R&B. Yeah.
That's actually in like the mission statement too. And like the core values is that you're going to hear that kind of fun music and not elevator music. And you get compliments on it all the time.
I think I get compliments from the people who were born around my age. Like that, it's so weird being the like old person in the office now. Like my assistants are 21, 22. I'm like, wow, I'm older than their parents, which is crazy to me.
What was the, oh gosh, I'm butchering this right now. We had an assistant years ago and you asked her if they knew this band. Who was it? It was like a group. And
Boys
the
to
answer
Men.
that boys, and she gave an answer like, oh yeah, I think I've heard of him before. Like,
Yeah, there's more than
no.
one.
Like, oh, we are so old.
We're so old. I mean, when people don't even know who Michael Jackson is, it's like a tragedy, honestly. Yeah.
What kind of speakers do you use?
They are built into the ceiling. I have no
Okay.
idea. It is whatever my audio visual people recommended is what we ended up installing.
Okay. So your speakers are built into the ceiling. You don't have like a separate, I don't even know, what are they, like Sonos or JBL or something just in the ops?
We had no, and it's one centralized system, and each of the rooms has a dial that can go up and down. I've seen some pretty cool offices where each room you can connect the patient's favorite music station to their own speaker, but those are also offices where they have doors, so it becomes a very private space. I can't imagine if that were playing in my office because of how open it is. It would just sound crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say this in the Folsom location, like you said, it's all connected to one system. But because you had the computers hooked up to the TV on the ceiling as well, sometimes patients you could play soundtracks, I
True.
think, on
Yes.
it through the headphones if they
Mhm.
really hated whatever we were playing and they wanted something a little more relaxing.
Yeah. No, good point. It is really nice. One thing I will say is when I first equipped the Folsom office, the headphones, the line jack ran underneath the floors to connect to the main computer at the 12 o'clock station. So at the time, I thought it was, oh, super ingenious because then you don't see this cord. But then whenever there's a notification on the main system, because we did have inter-office chats going or something, the patients would hear it in their headphones and be like, someone's getting a ping or the doctor is needed. Oh, sorry. And so we learned our lesson. So when we built out two of the rooms later on to have a TV in the ceiling. And we had those on a completely separate smart TV where the patient has their own Roku and the headphones attached to either Bluetooth or you can plug in the headphones to the remote. At least that's how it is in the Roseville office now, which is really nice because I swear a lot of times what takes so long before getting the doctors into the ops in Folsom are the fact that patients are still deciding what they want to watch on Netflix.
Yeah.
And our assistants are using the computer to scroll through and like ask them, is this okay? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So it's nice. Just give them the remote and then let them deal with whatever they want to watch.
Yeah, that's was going to be one of my questions is just
Yeah.
a separate TV in the ceiling hooked up to the Roku. And you really haven't had any problems with that.
No. And one thing I will also recommend is if you have a lot of TVs in every op, like I have two big screen TVs on the 6 o'clock wall, and then I have a TV on top, and I have monitors, two monitors at the 12 o'clock. Make sure that the TV brand that you put on the ceiling for patient entertainment is not the same company as whatever TV is on the walls. Like the patients will turn on the TV and then because they're all Samsung. They're all Samsung, and one remote controls all the TVs. So it's just not fun, always having to run around and turn off, turn on. And my IT guy, he recommended that we put in like a generic brand of TV on the ceiling. And I was like, oh no, we're not doing generic up there. I want it all to be Samsung. And now I understand why he wanted a different. I'm like, well, bro, you could have just told me what you were thinking. So you live, you learn.
Back to the music. What do you have it connected to?
It's connected to one of the main computers, and we just have it on Spotify. We just put like whatever clean office hits usually, or if I'm working a case and there's not a lot of patients in the office itself, like because I do all of my cases in Roseville, I'll just put it on my old school hip hop. And usually the patients don't really mind if there's an occasional bleep word that that runs through. They actually think it's kind of fun. They're like, we've never been to a dentist that plays this kind of music. We dig it. We've gotten quite a few compliments about it.
There's only a few songs where you have to like run and you're like, why is this playing?
Nicki Minaj.
I was just thinking.
Or Megan Thee
Pony.
Stallion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, if you know that
Cardi
song.
B. Oh, yeah. No. We have been known to have assistants running down the halls in order to skip a song.
Okay, well, I think you really answered some of my questions that I was going to ask you at the end as far as wish list and things that little tidbits like that on what you're splurging on and what not to splurge on. So I think that was a great episode. And then next time we can talk maybe more about your systems and how you just kind of started things out with getting the office open.
All righty. You're going to be interviewing yourself for that next episode.
Maybe you should ask
Call
me
it-
the questions.
Oh, I think I will be the interviewer. And
There
you
we
can-
go.
Yeah, no. In all honesty, Collin is queen of systems. So it'll be a great episode for sure. Tune in next week, guys.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
$250,000. That's how much the average dental practice loses every year to empty chairs, no-shows, last-minute cancellation, gaps that just sit there. Casper's Opportunity Finder constantly checks your schedule and sees every gap the second it opens and helps your team fill it with one single click. And for every Open Dental user, it's completely free. Go to meetcasper.com/register to download it today, because profit isn't the opposite of purpose. It's what funds it.